Holyoke Community College President Christina Royal has been chosen for an Aspen New Presidents Fellowship, one of only 2 community college presidents chosen from Massachusetts. Carolee McGrath recently sat down with Royal, who spoke about the prestigious fellowship and her vision for HCC and the students she serves.
The Aspen Institute is a nationally recognized organization which really focuses on leadership development, and they've decided that with all of the shifts within higher education and the number of presidents that are retiring, that there's a need to really invest in new presidents, and so they've created an inaugural cohort called the New Presidents Fellowship, and I was selected as one of 25 new presidents to participate in this.
From all across the country, out of a pretty big field.
Yeah, over 100 applicants for the position, and I was grateful to be selected as one of those.
And you're one of just 2 that were selected for Massachusetts as well, correct? Okay, so tell me a little bit about the things that you'll be working on with the other presidents as you move forward.
So we'll be focusing on a lot of the core challenges that community colleges face. And so when you look at our main priorities, when you look at national trends, it's focusing on retention, completion, and also closing the equity gap or the achievement gap.
Okay. When you talk about community college, there's so many exciting programs, and I think that so many people are having like a different view of what a community college is now because of the student debt crisis. It is so much more attractive for students and families who don't want their kids to be saddled with that debt. I'm sure you're seeing that on campus.
We are, and I would also say that when you really think about the value of a community college in any region, but also particularly in our region, that there is so much more than just affordability when you think of community colleges. We are birthed for and of the community, and so that really means that we have programs that serve the youth, whether it's our summer programs and camp programs for students, our partnerships with early education, also then our work with the high schools and focus on early college and dual enrollment programs. When you talk about providing degree offerings to be able to meet the needs of our local employers, but also focusing on adult learners who are looking at career changes.
Which is very big, right? I mean, so many people go to college, so many years ago, and they say, I don't like what I'm doing. I want to become a nurse.
A lot of people are maybe started college and didn't finish, and so they want to come back and make that change. Other people have started in a career. They want to look at exploring other fields. So the adult learner market is also growing.
Okay, tell me a little bit about some of the things the changes that you've overseen since taking the reins.
Yeah, it's been a busy couple of 3 years. We started off opening the Culinary Arts Center, our HCC MGM Culinary Arts Institute, in downtown Holyoke, and that's our second presence in downtown Holyoke. We're really trying to invest in the downtown area. And also, we opened the first floor of our Center for Life Sciences building and that renovation, and also our campus center grand opening, and be able to repurpose and renovate the space that we have for our campus center, which is the hub for students. We launched our Latinx Studies program, so there's this associate degree option in focusing on Latin studies, which is a perfect area of study for our region, especially given the fact that 50% of Holyoke, the city of Holyoke, is Latinx.
When you talk about some of the strategies that you'll be working on with the other presidents, what are some of your top priorities or areas that you might need a little advice on?
So one of the core areas is looking at equity. And I like to think of equity as success for all. How do we ensure that every student, regardless of the background that they come with, are able to be successful at college? And we know that there is what we call an achievement gap, which means that our white students are succeeding at a higher rate than our students of color. And so there's a really concerted effort to look at ways that we can reduce and eliminate that gap. that gap exists because of a lot of the challenges that our underserved communities experience. And there certainly is a high correlation to socioeconomic status. And so being able to really look at ways that we can support the full learner and really educate them and set them up, not only within the classroom, but outside of the classroom as well.
How effective are the dual language programs and the early college programs to address the achievement gap that you're talking about?
The dual enrollment and early college programs are very effective, especially when you look at our partnership with the Holyoke Public Schools, because there is a high representation of minority students in that district. And so being able to start off by giving them the mentorship, guidance, wraparound services that are needed to support their academic pursuits in getting a college degree or starting towards a college degree while they're in high school is very powerful in bridging that chasm that exists from the time that they graduate high school to when they think about going to college. We want them to get an early head start in life by getting their credential as soon as possible within the time that they graduate, but also trying to bridge the experience that they're having in high school for when they go to college, because it's a very different experience for a lot of students. There's a lot of structure in a high school environment, and then they get to college, and college feels like a very different world. So we really want to make sure that they're prepared, that they understand that they can help make that cultural shift, and that they understand the resources that are available to them to help support them, whether it's tutoring or advising support, early planning of maybe them thinking about wanting to transfer to a four-year institution. So we really like to make sure that they have the services and support that they need and that they're aware of what we offer.
And when you're talking about kids who do want to transfer to a four-year institution, there are so many partnerships that the community colleges have, including HCC. How do you help that student who wants to be an accountant, for example, make that transition to a four-year college?
Having them come in and really think about all the possibilities for their life. And part of what we do is help them to dream bigger, is to really think about all of the potential that they have in themselves, how their skill sets can translate to having success in various programs, and then helping them navigate that path.